Delivering your image at full size isn't always ideal. Whether you want to resize it to deliver only the size you need, or crop it to the aspect ratio you want for your app, we can manage all the transformations we need in React with Cloudinary URL Gen SDK. Starting off with a full-size image, where we currently have our quality and format set to auto to make sure we're first of all optimizing it as much as we can. The first step we want to take is see how we can resize this down to only deliver the size we need. Where by default, even if we specify a width and a height that's smaller than the image itself on the image tag, we're ultimately going to be dictating the size of that image with the URL, where in this case, it's over 2,600 pixels wide, where really, we only really want to show it at 600 pixels wide. To resize our image, we're going to chain on the resize method, where we need to first pass in a new instance of resize. Now to use that, we need to make sure we're importing resize from the Cloudinary URL Gen actions, where once that's imported, we can now start to chain on the resize methods we want to transform or resize our image, such as the scale method, which is going to tell Cloudinary that we want to scale down our image at the same ratio, where if we add a width to that, such as 1200, where once we reload the page, once we look at that URL, we can now see that the actual image size is 1200 wide by 800 pixels. Now, once we did resize that image, we'll notice that we had a big effect on that file size, where originally it was around 1 megabyte, but now it's 161 kilobytes. But say on top of this, maybe I don't only want to resize the image, I want to create a square image. I can change the scale to crop instead, where now I want to also define a height of 1200. But now once I reload the page, we can see that that image is now a square. But we can take that a step further, where maybe I want to make sure that I focus this crop around the face. So I can chain on the gravity and set that to auto, where Cloudinary will automatically detect where that subject of the photo is and crop to that area. Now, the nice thing about this is if I want to then chain on another resize event, such as use the scale method after the crop method, I can simply duplicate this line, change this to scale, and then change my values, such as if I want to make this 600 by 600, where the only thing we need to tweak in this case is remove the gravity from the scale method as it's not available for that particular method. But now, while it looks probably the same as we saw before, if we hover over that image, we can now see it's 600 by 600, but it still appears the same as it did before. Now, this is important because this original image was 2600 by 1700. Now, if I change the width and the height to 1700, we'll see that that crop does look different because of how we're cropping it to the original file size. So being able to chain on the resizes as we have gives us more control of how we effectively transform our image. But whatever method you choose, this gives us a lot of flexibility for how we work with our images in a React app. Or because the URL Gen SDK isn't React specific, this works with other frameworks and libraries as well. So in review, in order to resize an image down or up to the size we need, as well as crop it to the ratio we'd like, we can use the Cloudinary URL Gen SDK, where by chaining on the resize method, we have the ability to crop and scale our images to whatever format we need.